morning. I know it's been a minute since I have made a video, but I got into one of those really weird Sag places in my life and kind of, I don't know, flaked. It's what I do. I'm Witch Michelle. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, I would be so grateful if you liked and subscribed. If you are watching this on Facebook, I would be so grateful if you hopped over to the page and liked and subscribed that. So, at the new moon, my friend and I did a ritual where we literally did something similar to hand fasting, only in the opposite way, and then hopped over a line in the sand from our past to our present. Because during this whole shadow work thing, what I've been trying to do is clear out stuff. It's almost like spring cleaning for your psyche, and make space for stuff that needs to be, stuff needs to go, stuff needs to be able to have room to come in and grow. This whole journey for the last 7-8 weeks has been about me rewriting stories that have been told to me since I was a kid, and that I identify with as my story, as my identity. And I've had to like really learn that those things that people said and did to me were not the things that defined who I was. And since I jumped over that line in the sand, more things have come to the surface. And this week I sort of talked a little bit about, if you follow me at all on Facebook, about what my father did to me with my body image. And always told me that, I had a fat stomach, even when I was 110 pounds, and that I needed to hide that, and that no one wanted to look at it. And I can go back to about the age of 10, where I remember at first, I don't really remember him saying it to me at the age of 10, but I remember asking people that were older than me, because I looked at it as something that happened as like puberty. So you have a little bit of a belly because you're a baby, and then as you grow older, you're gonna lose that belly. And so I remember asking a girl who was 5 or so years older than me, when does that happen? And she said she'd always had one, and that's the first moment of terror I remember feeling in myself about, holy shit, I'm gonna always look like this, and this is not good. People aren't gonna like me because I have this fat stomach. And so that's been my thing, and I have worked really hard in the last few weeks to bring all this stuff up. And you think, okay, I'm like, I'm done now, and then more stuff comes up. No, I really didn't think I was done, but it's always a surprise when some new shit pops up into your head. So this week started off with the Three of Wands, and in this tarot deck, the first 7 cards in the wands align with your chakras. And it was funny that this had come up right when this card came up, right when I started to deal with my solar plexus area of discontent. This is the day of my solar plexus discontent. And and also this whole journey through this deck of cards has been moving from my center, moving from my core, suggesting that I belly dance. All of that stuff has brought me to where I am today. And so, but today's card had to do with the 6th chakra. It was the inner seeing, 6 of Wands. So in a traditional tarot deck, let me read to you what that card is in the Robin Wood deck that I use. Sorry. So the 6 of Wands is this card in the Robin Wood deck. Oh, you can't even really see that, can you? Anyway, let me just tell you what it looks like, because you can't see it. It is actually a knight coming home from a battle, and everyone is cheering for him, and he has done a great thing. He's on a white horse. He rode white horses Had ladies by the score. Anyway, and then he's dressed in a white tunic with red pants. The tunic has the sun on it. The flag he's carrying on a staff, which is a wand staff, is wrapped in holly and has a big sun on it, which is all really good things. They're celebrating this guy's return to come home. In this deck, it's a little different. It's actually got to do with your third eye and inner seeing. So and this isn't just about psychic abilities or your spirit guides or hearing any of it. It's about an inner knowing inside of yourself. So this morning, I was listening to Russell Brand. I really, really like him. I know there's a lot of people that look at him and go, oh my gosh, he's such a womanizer, what an asshole, blah, blah, blah. Well, people change. And I would like people to afford me a chance when I change who I am, or if I've changed who I am from who I was before, and give me a chance to show people who I am. So I freely give chances to people and open myself up when I see that, or I hear them tell me that they've made a change. I might not always believe it at first, but for sure I will give people a chance to say who they are. So this man has done so much work on himself. He's freed himself from addiction. He has become a very spiritual being. He meditates daily, has profound things to say about spirituality and the human condition. And the one thing that I have spewed for probably since Donald Trump got into office is, what's the one thing that we are all seeking? And that's acceptance and love. And how we're all the same people. Everything about us is the same. Everything about the animals on the planet is the same. The planet is the same as we are. We are carbon-based fucking life forms with the same sorts of DNA. DNA that's so closely related, like 98% chimpanzee. You know what I mean? So there's so much of us that's the same. And we spend so much time in constructs of what other people tell us that we are, and then we believe those constructs. Everything in our lives is a construct of something that somebody else brought up. There are no actual boundaries on the planet that say this is the United States of America and that's Canada and over there is Asia, the continent of Asia. We don't know that is constructs that people threw at us, and then we willingly accepted those things as our reality. So when people talk about changing the way you look at things and the way you perceive things and changing your reality in your own head, that shit used to blow my fucking mind. I would be like, seriously? Do you not see what's happening out there and you want me to just be calm about all this bullshit that's happening? In a sense, yeah. Because during this entire time that Donald Trump has been president, it was ugly. It really was. And I saw a lot of ugliness in people. I think that what we had with him was really the chance to observe how we were so really super close to Mad Max. Like we were just a few degrees separated from becoming, Thunderdome. It was right there. But in my home, we didn't practice that. My friends that I'm super close to, we didn't practice that. We practiced love and acceptance. Nothing changed for me for the way I feel about my nieces who are lesbians, or for how I feel about my androgynous Z in New York. None of that changed for me. It didn't change for me the way I felt about black people or my black friends. It didn't change for me how I felt about a woman's right to her own reproductive health. None of that changed for me. So when you hear somebody like Russell Brand or any of those people who say your reality is a construct in your own mind, that's what they're talking about. Okay, so that might be their reality, and maybe that's what they're trying to fight for. Gosh, you got to feel sorry for people who are so caught up in what they think other people should do and how other people should behave. And I really think it still goes back right to that place of they want so desperately to express who they are in a way that's freeing, and they can't for whatever reason. They're afraid they're not going to be loved and accepted. Maybe they've tried to do that in the past and they were not loved and accepted. by their own family members. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's a really fucking tough place to be when you are the person that's the odd man out in your entire fucking family and no one wants anything to do with you because you're eccentric or different than everybody else. But I'm going to tell you, it's a life of misery to keep trying to push yourself into a space that nobody wants you in and dimming who you are to be able to get that space. When I did that thing with my cousin that we talked about before, I had that big blow up with him in the middle of Home Depot on a fucking text message, for God's sake. When it was done, I was like, sat in the car and had to think about things. Because this argument about who I am and how I express myself and how I live and who I love and how I love and all of those things has been a constant thing since I moved to Florida in 1980, okay, with all of these people. And so probably about a decade ago is when really people started to ice me out because the parents started dying, right? So now these people who really didn't want me around could actually make that shit happen because they were the fucking organizers of the party. So I was shoved out of the family, and I spent the last 10, 15 years really trying to forge my way back into this family that really didn't want anything from me. And so when I had that argument with my cousin and I sat out in the car shaking and going, what the fuck, man? What am I going to do now? This is really bad. I nailed that shit shut this time. And then I realized, what did I lose? What did I lose? I lost absolutely nothing. They weren't talking to me anyway. They weren't inviting me anyway. And you know what? I have created a family of people who love and accept me the way that I am. I don't have to dim myself for the people that I surround myself with. And I have sort of tried to do that in some instances in recent times in my life, and I know that that was a mistake because then that defined the entire relationship. And that's what you need to think about in yourself. It's not worth it. So if you want to be something, if you want to express yourself some way, you need to let that fear of what other people think about you or will think about you or the exile you might end up having from your family and friends. Get some new friends and family. Just do what makes you comfortable. Do not let other people write your story. Start seeing with your own fucking eyes, your third eye, your spiritual eyes, whatever. Not everything needs to come from God. I mean, that's probably going to piss off some people, but it doesn't. Because you know what? How I look at things, even if, I'll just take the Bible for an example. When Paul and Silas were in prison, an angel came and smashed the wall open to get them out of prison. The angel woke them up and said, put your fucking sandals on and walk out through that hole. The angel didn't teleport them out of the fucking building. He told them to do some shit about it. We have to do some shit about it. We have to do some work to make ourselves feel better. We have to love and accept ourselves right the fuck where we are so that we can make a difference in our own lives first. And then everything else can come second. So that you're equipped. And because my whole reality, when people came to me, because I was so angry for so long, when people would try to dim my light or tell me how to dress or tell me how to talk or tell me how I should look when I perform my real estate duties, whatever it would be crouch, yell, and pounce. And it's exhausting. Didn't fix anything. People continued to do that just like they did in my family when they would say, why does she dress the way she does? And I would fucking put on more tight, skinny, fucking short, low-cut shit the next time until I was barely wearing shit at the very end. It doesn't do anything. But if I had looked at people and said, I allow you, like first to say, this is me. In all of my splendor and glory, this is me. This is how I choose as an adult woman to express myself, to experience the world, to get to know, taste, feel, touch, everything I can possibly get my fucking hands on. And this is the way you do it. And I will allow you your freedom, and you're going to allow me mine. Deal? had I approached people that way 30 years ago, or fuck, even in the last 5 years, I think that my relationships with myself, most importantly, and other people would be completely different. And of course, some people would walk away. And that's okay. It took me a really long time to not be afraid of when people really didn't want anything to do with me. I still have some people in my life that I've reconciled with, and some people that just will not. They don't want that reconciliation with me. And before, it would be a thing where I'd be like, oh my God, that's all I can think about. I'm consumed with the person that doesn't like me instead of paying attention to the ones that do. I'm consumed with this one that won't talk to me anymore, doesn't want to have anything to do with me, and not pay attention to the ones over here that do. I'm going to allow myself the freedom to enjoy these people over here. And I'm going to allow you the freedom to stay away from me. I'm not going to force myself on you. I'm not going to beg and plead for you. I'm just going to do me, and I'm going to let you do you. And if we all just understood that it was okay, I mean, for me, that was the biggest thing, was opening my eyes up to, it's all right if somebody doesn't like me. That has nothing to do with how I feel about myself. That has nothing to do with it. And let me tell you, it's hard. It's really hard, because as I sit here, I think about myself right now, and I feel the doubts inside of me. I still fucking feel my fucking belly, and it bugs the shit out of me. But there are places in me now where I realize I'm okay the way I choose to live, the way I choose to express myself as a human, the way I choose to experience this life. Those things are okay the way I do them. As long as I'm not hurting anybody. Then I'm not hurting anybody. But it's also okay for everybody else to walk the fuck away if they don't want to see that. If they don't want to experience that. If it makes them so uncomfortable because they can't let themselves experience that. Whatever it is that inhibits them from wanting to be around me, maybe it really is a whole lot of disdain for who I am and what I do. Peace. I mean, seriously, it's totally okay. I can't write my own story if I keep allowing the old ones to creep back in. This belly work is going to be something for me. It really and truly is. It's really super funny to me. I was talking to my friend last night. I've had bad teeth my entire fucking life since I was a little kid. And my father never once said one thing about those teeth. He always said shit about my belly. And you know why he didn't say anything about my teeth? Because he would have had to take the financial burden of fixing that shit. What a motherfucker. I have him still sitting on my desk, his ashes, at my house, and bitch, those things are going to Bushdell as soon as I get home. He's going home for Christmas this year. He really is. Because everything that he ever said to me was a projection of his insecurities. Everything. And it was all about the fact that he never thought, not for 5 minutes, that I was his daughter. He thought I was a product of an affair my mother had. And he could never, ever look at me. He raised me. He told me he loved me. He gave me his name. But I was a constant reminder of an affair my mother had with another man. And always, in the back of his head, to the day that motherfucker died, I wasn't his daughter. So it was okay for him to tell me he wished my cousin was his and I wasn't. It was okay for him to do that. Because I really wasn't his kid. So the only thing that I need to fix is me. And I've been working really hard on that through this shadow work. And it's going to keep bringing new little fucking reminders up of stuff that's hidden in places where the shit resides so that I can smell it, seek it out, and clean it up. I have to do that. And I have to learn to really be kind to myself and to love myself the way I am, all parts me. Teresa, my friend Teresa, said it to me yesterday. You have to look at yourself as a whole, not the parts that you like and the parts that you don't like, the whole thing. And today, I'm grateful that I have a body at almost 59 years old that I can work out 3 hours a day with. that I was able to drop 65 fucking pounds and keep most of that weight off for the last 3 years. I am grateful for the people around me that inspired me and helped me to do that. I am grateful that I have a brain that is smart and intelligent and that I know my fucking business like the back of my hand. And no matter what anybody might think of my religion or my hair or my lifestyle or any of that, if you want a good real estate agent, you're going to talk to Witch Michelle, and she's going to fix shit for you and help you get into the right property. You're not going to let all that other stuff bother you. I mean, you didn't let all that other stuff bother you about Donald Trump when you voted for him, right? So obviously we know you can get over some shit. No more excuses. Be myself. And point out that I am being myself to other people. And let other people be themselves. Some of the things about me I still hate. So that shit's going to come up. Today I focus on my third eye and my inner seeing. I hope you do that too. I hope you work on your inner journey. The meditation has been such a blessing to me. And if I can't leave you with anything else, I'm leaving you with that. Take 5 minutes out of your day. I have been meditating now for a month and a half. It has changed my fucking life. I think everybody should meditate. I think they should have meditation breaks in offices, in schools. I think they should have meditation breaks in synagogues and in churches. I think that pagans that do ritual and have circles should have meditation breaks in the middle of their rituals, because that would change people exponentially and make you see how fucking connected you are to everything else, and that there are places inside of yourself where you can go and find calm and be connected to the source, whatever that is. And that's really all I got to say about that. So, y'all, have a good day. I love you. This is Witch Michelle signing off.